Any of that around here? Sergeant. Huh, do you see it? Here in my humble establishment? He gestured dramatically around his simple, unadorned cart and the dusty, utilitarian loading dock. Rocky squinted, taking in the rather pathetic. No, that still doesn't explain how a gold chronometer, a genuine artifact of luxury, can possibly sell for 12 credits. 95 centi-credits. There's got to be a catch, a hidden clause, a cosmic anomaly that defies all known economic principles. Of course there's a catch, Sergeant, my astute friend, Silas declared, as if unveiling the most profound truth in the universe, the hidden mechanisms behind the grand cosmic illusion. And that catch, my discerning sergeant, is the markup, the glorious, astronomical, utterly indefensible markup of the traditional retail chains. The markup, Rocky scoffed, a flicker of understanding, quickly suppressed, trying to break through his hardened skepticism. Have you any idea of the actual, exorbitant markup on these so-called luxury items? Is it truly that egregious? No, Sergeant, not many of us ordinary citizens, us hard-working space troopers, truly know the shocking truth, Silas said with a sympathetic shake of his perfectly coiffed head. But let me tell you, there's a 60, a 70, even an 80% pure profit margin attached to these paltry little items. These glittering baubles, especially when you, like my mysterious supplier, buy the massive, bulk Starship carload, the colossal, unimaginable quantity. Rocky stared, utterly bewildered. The Starship? You mean whole freighters full of these things? Of course, Sergeant. It's all about volume, you see. I'm a high-volume dealer, a titan of turnover, a galactic wholesaler of affordable luxury, Silas declared, puffing out his chest with an almost comical pride. I make a tiny, minuscule profit on each individual sale, a mere pittance. Yes, but I go for the big turnover, the sheer, overwhelming quantity of sales. That's where the real profit lies. In the churning machinery of constant demand.
Why?
Even taking this valuable time to talk to a discerning gentleman of your caliber, a true intellectual, such as yourself, has cost me credits, real credits. Time is money. As they say, even on your quaint, beautiful Terabelle, isn't it? Every second is a potential sale lost. Rocky, despite himself, felt a flicker of grudging, reluctant respect. The sheer audacity of the man. The masterful weaving of half-truths and perfectly constructed logical fallacies was almost admirable. And the logic, though clearly manipulative and built on a foundation of shifting sands, sounded almost plausible, he grudgingly admitted. If you managed to shut off your critical thinking for a moment and succumb to the illusion, Silas wasn't just a con man, he was an artist of deceit, a virtuoso of duplicity. Silas, sensing his subtle victory, the moment the hook caught, leaned in for the kill, delivering his master class in misdirection with flawless precision. But it's worth it, Sergeant. It truly is, for a meaningful exchange with a fellow man of business. I mean, how many times do I get to talk shop, real galactic economics, with a man who truly understands the business? A man who appreciates the intricate mechanisms of interstellar commerce. You, Sergeant, looked like a man who was always good with arithmetic back in his academy days, a man of numbers. Rocky's chest swelled a fraction, a subconscious response to the flattery. He had, in fact, always prided himself on his mathematical acuity. Well, I was always pretty good in arithmetic, I suppose, he admitted, a rare note of genuine, if fleeting, pride entering his voice. Good, good, Silas enthused, his voice resonating with an almost theatrical delight. Excellent. Then allow me, Sergeant, to really explain it to you, down to the granular details. Now, when the manufacturer gets an item, see, any product, you know, particularly your chronometer, the initial cost of raw materials and labor, say, perhaps 10 credits, the bare-bones production cost, then the unscrupulous wholesaler adds his exorbitant cut, then the greedy distributor, then the bloated retail store, each piling on their hefty, undeserved profit margins until what started as 10 credits is transformed into a staggering 100 credits. But I, Sergeant, bypass all that fluff, all that unnecessary bureaucratic bloat, all those parasitic middlemen. I go direct, like a laser beam of savings straight from the manufacturer to the discerning customer. It's revolutionary. It's transparent. Rocky slowly nodded, a dawning realization spreading across his features, though his expression remained a cautious blend of fascination and lingering doubt. It still felt fishy, deep down in his gut, but Silas's performance was so utterly convincing, so confident, so educational. Maybe, just maybe, he was mistaken. Maybe this guy really was an unappreciated genius of commerce, a savvy, interplanetary savant of the sales world, offering true value in a galaxy of rip-offs. The thought, however improbable, held a certain seductive allure. Silas, sensing his psychological victory, the moment the last of Rocky's defenses crumbled, continued his triumphant masterclass in controlled misdirection. So, Sergeant, my esteemed friend, now that you truly understand the hidden mechanisms of the marketplace, now that I have demystified the arcane secrets of interstellar economics, are you still set on this refund for your young private's magnificent purchase? He gestured to the pristine chronometer Rocky still held, a silent challenge. Or do you now see the incredible, unparalleled value your private has truly acquired? Rocky, caught in the seductive illusion, his initial fury having been skillfully diffused by Silas's smooth rhetoric, hesitated. If Silas was, in fact, telling the truth, if his explanation of low overhead and high volume was genuinely accurate, then Sergeant Rex Roquefort, was effectively depriving the man of a fair, albeit razor-thin, profit. He looked down at the crisp Alliance credits still clutched in his hand, the same 49 credit, 95-cent credits Silas had so generously provided. The very same amount. The coincidence, he thought, was almost too perfect. It was practically a sign from the cosmos, a validation of this man's unorthodox, yet seemingly legitimate, business model. Well, now that you explain it to me, Serpentile, and lay it all out so clearly, Rocky began, his voice losing its initial edge of hostility, replaced by a grudging, almost sheepish respect. Excellent, a man of logic and reason, truly a credit to the Grand Galactic Alliance peacekeeping force to have such a discerning mind among its ranks. Silas clapped his hands together, his smile radiant with thinly disguised triumph. This has been a most enlightening discussion indeed. You have truly grasped the essence of true value, Sergeant, and for that I offer you my profound respect. He paused, then his eyes twinkled, conspiratorial. Tell you what, Sergeant, since you're such a perceptive man, and you've understood my intricate business model with such intellectual acuity, how about I offer you an exclusive deal, a token of my profound professional admiration? Rocky narrowed his eyes again, a tiny spark of his old skepticism reigniting. What kind of deal? What new trick do you have up your sleeve? Silas ignored the suspicion, gracefully reaching into another, more deeply concealed compartment on his cart. With a flourish, he pulled out a luxurious object that shimmered with opulent reflecting the overhead lights with a soft, inviting glow, a magnificent fur wrap, crafted from what appeared to be genuine, silver-frosted ranch-grown fox. It looked impossibly soft, a cascade of luxurious fluff, shimmering with a depth of texture that defied mere synthetic imitation. It exuded an aura of wealth and sophistication. Sergeant, Silas began, holding up the fur with the reverence of a high priest presenting a sacred relic, his voice dropping to a seductive, hypnotic purr. This, my friend, is not merely a garment. This is a statement. A genuine, silver-frosted, ranch-grown fox, direct from the glacial farms of Omicron Prime, the most exclusive fur-producing world in the entire sector. A true statement of interstellar sophisticated, glamour, and undeniable luxury for the discerning lady in your life. Normally, a piece of this unparalleled caliber would command a princely sum in those overpriced orbital boutiques. Easily 250 credits, a king's ransom. But for you, Sergeant, understanding the principles of low overhead and high turnover, and as a special, personal token of our newfound professional admiration, he lowered his voice to an almost imperceptible whisper, as if sharing the most precious of secrets. 49 credits. Yes, Sergeant. That's right. The very same amount you just received from your private's reimbursement, including a lifetime cleaning service and a genuine velvet presentation pouch. What do you say? Sergeant, make your lady truly